In this report, I share the 10 easiest countries to retire to. You see, I travel the world and share the cheapest retire cheap in paradise locations. I left the United States in 2007, and I've lived in or visited 67 countries over the last 15 plus years. But there are three main kinds of people that have a hard time qualifying for retirement visas overseas, and for one reason or another. More on that in a moment. You see, I have over 174 reports teaching people how and where to retire cheap in paradise overseas. Sadly, some people will not be able to qualify for all of the retirement destinations I recommend for one reason or another. Some even visit and fall in love with one of my recommended paradise locations, but later find out they don't qualify to retire there because of some obscure technicality buried deep in the immigration regulations of a host country. Examples of such technicalities include monthly pension minimums, failed medical testing requirements, obscure or expensive health insurance requirements, weak home country passports, lack of acceptable proof of income or net worth requirements, poor communication skills during immigration entry interviews, the unwillingness of your home country embassy to certify home country documents, or criminal records in your home country. Luckily, most people that really want to are able to find a way to get a retirement visa in paradise. But sadly, even if you qualify for a retirement visa today, some countries do not have grandfathered clauses in their retirement visa regulations. That means that if you do not obtain permanent residency in your paradise location before the rule change in the future, when it comes time to renew your retirement visa in the future, they may require you to qualify for new rules created since your last visa application. And finally, some countries go through political or social changes that are unacceptable to you. So even if you are still able to jump through all the hoops, old and new, you still may want to move to a new retirement paradise country you have learned about since you first retired. So what can you do to permanently protect your overseas retirement? After traveling for 15 years, I don't have all the answers, but I may have some ideas that will lower your blood pressure and make you feel a little better about finding continued happiness in paradise during overseas retirement. So first, I will cover some of the better known, easiest retirement visa countries. Then I'll cover some of the countries where you can stay for a very long time without jumping through any hoops at all. Then I'll share how I've done it for 15 years without ever once applying for a retirement visa anywhere in the world. But there's no reason to take notes. All of this is in writing at the first link in the description below this YouTube video. Okay, 10 easiest countries to retire to. People with lower monthly pensions or net worth. Some people just don't have as much money as they thought they would when they reach retirement age. Here are the paradise countries I recommend with the lowest income and net worth requirements. After that, I'll share how I lived all over the world without bothering to get a retirement visa. Okay, example countries with low income or net worth requirements. Each of the countries listed below will have various procedures and documentation you must provide to complete your application. Many will require medical testing, police reports, health insurance, and certified financial documents. But in this report, we're just focusing only on the minimum income or net worth requirements. We'll have to drill down deeper in other reports once you select somewhere you want to retire. Okay, I'm going to go by the monthly requirements here and mention minimum net worth requirements as appropriate. For $250 a month, Argentina is the most European city in South America and presently one of the cheaper places to retire in South America because the peso exchange rate has been hammered internationally over the last few years. At today's exchange rate, you only need $250 US income from your home country to qualify for the Argentine retirement visa or pensionado visa. Argentina also has a visa that translates into a person of means visa for younger people that can show guaranteed income in the same amounts, $250 per month, as the retirement visa. But don't assume $250 a month will be enough to live in Argentina. Most foreigners are living on around $1,000 or more per month. Next up, $400 per month is Turkey. Turkey doesn't have a retirement visa per se. To stay in Turkey, you must apply for a short-term residency permit. You'll have to show a monthly minimum of $400, which is based upon the minimum wage in Turkey for one person, but will increase depending upon the number of dependents you have. These can be renewed for up to 8 years, and when you need to apply for a long-term residency. Okay, next up, at $600 per month, Nicaragua has 2 different kinds of visas for foreigners that can show pension or other dependable income. They are almost the same, except the pensioner's visa starts at age 45 and only requires $600 a month in pension income, whereas the person of means visa starts at age 18 and requires proof of $750 a month income. These are all in US, by the way. But don't assume that $600 a month will be enough to live there. Most foreigners are living on more like $800 or $1,000 or even $1,200 per month or more. Here are my favorite places to retire in Nicaragua. Okay, coming in at $750 a month, Portugal is one of the most affordable and beautiful countries in Europe. Applicants from many countries can apply for the D7 visa so long as they can show passive income of $750 per month for the primary applicant, an additional $375 per month for a spouse or parent, or an additional $210 per month for each child. The truth is, most people will need more to retire in Portugal, but it is beautiful if you can afford to live there. Here are my favorite places to retire cheap in Portugal. Okay, coming in at $800 per month. Colombia is another beautiful country in South America with a favorable retirement visa program. For Americans and many other countries, you can apply for a retirement visa if you have about $800 in pension or other retirement income from your home country. My favorite city for retirement in Colombia is Medellin. It has year-round spring weather, so it's almost never too hot or cold. Here are my favorite places to retire in Colombia. Okay, $100 per month, Peru. Peru is another one of my favorite retirement destinations in South America. My favorite place to retire in Peru is called Arequipa. Americans and many other countries can retire in Peru showing $1,000 US per month and $500 per month for each additional dependent. That monthly amount must enter Peru from a bank in another country and can be from pensions, dividends, or other interest incomes. And here are my favorite places in Peru. Okay, coming in at $1,000 per month, Chile in South America requires at least $1,000 per month, but it's liberal about the source of income, such as rents, dividend, interest, pensions, etc. The only catch is that the minimum amount might be higher in parts of Chile that have a higher cost of living and nothing is written in stone. But it should be at least $1,000. Many of my friends have been to Chile and I hope to go and do a full report soon, but I have not been there myself yet. By the way, everywhere else I've mentioned before I've been, and those reports I'm showing you are reports made by me when I had my feet on the ground in those countries. Another example of where I've been, $1,000 a month in Panama is one of the most beautiful countries in Central America. Plus, Panama has a retirement visa available to citizens of many countries, such as America, for anyone age 18 or older. The minimum monthly pension requirement is $1,000 US per month, plus $250 per dependent of the applicant. Many countries can enter Panama with visa-free, but you should apply for a retirement visa in Panama while you're in Panama via a local Panamanian lawyer. Okay, coming in at $1,275 a month Ecuador is one of my favorite paradise countries in the world for a high quality of life for a lower cost of living. My favorite city for retirement in Ecuador is called Cuenca. Americans and many other countries are given 90 days free visa upon entry. The retirement visa requires proof of income of $1,275 per month plus $250 per dependent. By the way, all of these numbers quoted in dollars are dependent on the conversion rate between the local money and the US dollar. But in Ecuador, they use the US dollar, so that's what it is. You must be 65 years old in Ecuador and complete all of the other requirements for a retirement visa. Here are my favorite cities in Ecuador. Okay, coming in at $1,500 per month, Bali, Indonesia. Bali is one of the most beautiful places in the world to retire cheap in paradise. Bali, Indonesia requires $1,500 retirement income, and you must be 55 years of age or older. There are also other requirements which are subject to change over time, just like all countries. You need to qualify for all of those. Okay, coming in at $1,666 per month. The Philippines have a retirement visa that almost nobody bothers to apply for. You see, residents of most countries can stay in the Philippines lawfully for up to 36 months just by extending the visa-free entry stamp they receive upon arrival in the Philippines. They just visit the immigration office in the Philippines and renew at the rate of about $30 per month. And they could stay for up to 36 months before they have to do a visa run. But if you are one of the people that applies for the Philippines retirement visa, you'll need to show any of the following: a $20,000 retirement income per year, or $20,000 US invested in Philippines bank, or $20,000 in a Filipino condo. Here are my favorite places to retire in the Philippines. Okay, coming in at $1,750 a month, Malaysia is always in my top 10 places in the world to retire cheap in paradise. It is also where 𝗙 and I met, and you will see in all of my photos as I show you the world. 𝗙 is traveling with me. Malaysia is reportedly no longer a great place to retire because they just instituted new income and net worth requirements that only the most wealthy people from around the world can afford. But I have some good news for you. You can still get a retirement visa in Sarawak, Malaysia for just $1,050 per month foreign pension for a single person age 50 or more, or $2,500 per month for a foreign couple. Or you can make a fixed deposit in a Malaysian bank at $37,500 for a single retiree, or $75,000 for a retired couple if you don't want to prove the income. Plus, you can live anywhere in Malaysia or in the world and only have to spend 15 days of every year in Sarawak region of Malaysia to maintain the qualification for their retirement visa. And here are my favorite places to retire in Malaysia. Okay, coming in at $2,000 a month, Thailand still has its $2,000 a month retirement visa for people 50 plus years of age. They can also qualify by putting $25,000 US in a Thai bank. These old school Thai visas of $2,000 a month or $25,000 in Thai bank are still available despite the new elite Thai visas that have been introduced with much higher deposits and benefits. So don't let the new visas fool you. Okay, coming in at $2,700 a month. Mexico is no longer competitive in a global sense as an overseas retirement destination. Now, I love Mexico, but I'm only mentioning Mexico's retirement visa now as a way of showing how ridiculous Mexico has become when compared to the other retirement meccas around the world. Mexico has raised its minimum temporary residency requirements to $2,700 US per month, which varies based on the peso US conversion rate. To make matters worse, it's not perfectly clear whether or not you'll be able to eventually convert your temporary residency permit at $2,700 per month proof of income into a permanent status and eventual citizenship without qualifying for the permanent residency income levels. Some people think that has been proven, but I haven't seen a clear path to it. The permanent income levels are now $4,500 US per month and vary according to the conversion rates. To throw salt in the wound, you can no longer depend on visa runs outside of Mexico to extend your 180-day tourist visa, visa-free entry. But I still love Mexico, and hopefully they'll get it together and start welcoming foreign retirees again. And here's my favorite places to retire in Mexico. Okay, now I promise to tell you how I live all over the world without bothering to get a retirement visa. I have another report where I explain how to retire on a tourist visa. I will put a link to that report on a web page that you can get to. That's the top link in the notes below this video. But let me summarize the main ideas of that report because it's how I live. Right now I'm in the Philippines. I have been here for about 4 months without getting a retirement visa. I just stay for the period of time that a country gives me visa-free when I enter. The Philippines will give me up to 3 years without requiring me to formally apply for any residence or retirement visa, and I like that. Last time I was in the Philippines, I stayed for about 9 months. This time I'll probably stay for about a year. I just pay the $30 monthly extension fees. I don't need to gather any bank statements or police reports or have anything certified by my embassy. Life's too short for all that BS. So I just take what the Philippines give me without dealing with any paperwork or other hassles. Many other countries also offer similar visa-free entry and stays. In fact, here's a list of countries that I can show you how to travel through for over 14 years without applying for any retirement visas. I just take life easy and slow travel the world. I just stay in each country for as long as I feel welcome. When they want to put a big stack of paperwork in front of me, I mosey on down the road and I seek greener pastures. So let's look at the Americas. I can stay in Mexico for 180 days, Belize for 30 days, Guatemala for 90, Nicaragua for 90, Costa Rica for 90, Panama for 90 days, Colombia for 90, Ecuador for 90, Peru for 90 days, Chile for 90, Argentina for 90, Uruguay 90 days, Paraguay 90 days. I just enter a country, they visa-free stamp me for 90 or 180 or whatever the time is, and I travel around and enjoy that country. And then what do? I just hop on a bus and cross into the next country next to it, and I spend 90 days there or whatever they allow me. I can stay 3.5 years in the Americas without fooling with retirement visas. Then I could just cycle back up to Mexico if I want and start it all over again, or head to another part of the world. You might be wondering, how long is the Asia slow travel circuit for Americans without getting retirement visas, and many other countries? Thailand, 30 days plus 30 extension. The Philippines, 1,080 days or 3 years. Malaysia, 90 days. Indonesia, 30 plus extensions. Singapore, 90. Sri Lanka, 30 plus extensions. Taiwan, 90. Japan, 90. Hong Kong, 90 days. South Korea, 90 days. Papua New Guinea, 90 days. Wow, there's just a bunch of other places. You can stay over 5 years in Southeast Asia and in the Asia area without fooling with retirement visas. So how long is the Eastern European slow travel circuit for Americans without getting a retirement visa? I can stay in Georgia 360 days, Armenia 180, Turkey 90 days, Bulgaria 90, Macedonia 90, Albania 360, well, actually that was changed, it's down to 90 now, Kosovo 90 days, Montenegro 90, Serbia 90, Bosnia 90, Croatia 90, Slovenia 90, Romania 90, Moldova 90, Ukraine, well I won't go to Ukraine now, they're at war, but Latvia 90 days. That's another roughly 6 years I can wander around Eastern Europe without bothering with a retirement visa. You just take a bus to the next country when they try to slide a big pile of paperwork in front of you. So I can slow travel all over the world without bothering with government BS documents or headaches. Now I'm not saying everything is perfect when you slow travel the world like this. like I do. But just remember, you have choices if some government official turns down your retirement application or changes the rules on you once you move there. Now, feel free to watch that video so you'll know the pros and cons of slow traveling the world for 14 years without getting a retirement visa. I will put a link to that video and report on my webpage at the first link in the notes below this video. Thank you for reading my report, the 10 easiest countries to retire to. Make sure to grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 15 years now. Please subscribe to 𝗏agabondbuddha.com or our YouTube channel, Vagabond Awake, to watch us move around the world 15 plus years in 67 countries so far. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for 𝗏agabondbuddha.com. Thank you for stopping by. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner? Hey, if you liked our video, please like, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.